Hey, what's up everyone? It's your boy Weddy B, and it's been way too long since I made a video, far, far too long. And recently my story seems to have broken on at least Facebook. I know one person linked me to a Facebook mom's post or something like that. So I've been getting kind of a big influx of new supporters and people friending me on Facebook. My Facebook is now officially my name. They made me change it from Weddy B to my actual name. Didn't love that still. I still have that impulse to not really want to have myself on Facebook. It's kind of a holdover from when I was at 700 pounds. When you don't feel super great about your life, the last thing you want to be doing is showing just how bad you're doing. So yeah, that was kind of something I never really got over. But now that I've added my real name in Facebook, I've been connecting with old friends and family, and now a lot of people from this Facebook post on the mom site, and I'm not sure where else, but I've gotten a lot of new fans and people reaching out. And they've been asking about where my progress is and about surgery and that kind of thing. So I feel like I kind of need to address that because it has been a long time since I posted the video, and my last video wasn't exactly the most positive. I had just gotten in a crash on my scooter, and that was, God, that was the tail end of fall. It was just turning into winter, and that was my last ride, by the way. I put it up for the season. I'm happy to say I'm basically 95%. I don't think I'm ever going to be fully recovered. I went to the doctor, and they did an X-ray. There was not a fracture, which was great, but it ended up being a torn. What is that? I can't think of it right now. I drew a blank. I probably should have had that in my mind before starting this video, but it was basically a torn muscle in the shoulder. I was given something so I could go to physical therapy, but with my time constraints, I already was having trouble with time. I'm working more lately. I've been staying a little bit later, and then I still have to get some kind of exercise in. So I started going really hard with racquetball. I've been doing that at least 5 times a week now, and I've gotten a great group of guys who come in. They play every day when they can, and one guy in particular plays 5 days a week with me. We've been doing one on one, and that is such a good workout. Really good for cardio, and it's one of those things where I'm someone who went to the gym a lot, and when I was losing weight and when I wasn't working, I could go spend hours in the gym. I would do my cardio routine, do some lifting, and racquetball thrown in there every once in a while, but it was never something I loved. And I don't think it's ever going to be something I love. If anyone out there, if you're not a runner, that sitting on the elliptical for an hour is boring. You can listen to music, you can listen to audiobooks. I tried both, but it's never something I'm going to love. It's just not who I am. So for me, trying to get into things like sports, racquetball, and today, since it's cold out and I couldn't get anyone really to go play racquetball, I decided to go bowling. So I'm heading bowling today because it's not the best workout in the world, but it's something. And for me, doing sports and stuff like that, stuff that's fun, that's way more easy for me to stick to. Harder to make excuses for, and I have to get it in because that's the next topic I wanted to go into is the surgery. So for those of you who don't know, where I left off with the surgery is I was able to talk to a surgeon, and I was basically told that this is an invasive surgery, and I'd have to have 3 surgeries at least, one for the stomach, one for the arms and legs. So it's like the thighs, the underarms, and that kind of thing. And it's an invasive surgery with long recovery time. So basically what my surgeon told me is what you want to do is make sure you're as close as possible to your target weight when you get it, because it's not something you want to go do more than once. Especially there are risks involved. It's not a super simple surgery. I mean, they have to make some big incisions. There's when you're overweight, or when you have a lot of loose skin and stuff, there's always a risk of complications. So the basic consensus was that I wanted to get as close to my goal weight, which in my mind my goal weight was 220. And so to get as close to that as possible before starting the surgery. Well, since then, that was back in February of 2016, I want to say. And in April and May, or maybe it was like late March, April, I went through a really bad kind of a social fall off, I guess you could say. I took on too much at once, I think, and people find this hard to believe, but I think the weight loss was a lot easier than the social aspects because, one unique aspect of my story with the weight loss is I wasn't just, 700 pounds. I also had not left the house in multiple years. I didn't hang out with friends. I wasn't in the dating scene. I wasn't really doing any of the things that you associate with being a normal, well-adjusted person. And so I lost this weight, and I was at 260. It was the lowest I had gotten. I was at 260. I was feeling good. I had a little bit of confidence. I had gotten a good job that I love. I'm still at that job, and I got a good job that I love. And I thought, it's time to take on more social avenues. And so I tried to get back into the dating scene, and I started to hang out more and that kind of thing. And my personality just hadn't adjusted. It just I had not caught up to my weight loss. My social abilities had not quite matched it. And so I wasn't seeing the results I was hoping for, and I wasn't feeling confident about myself at all. And I actually started to feel really to where I thought, if I'm not there yet, I'm not going to be. I thought in my mind that the weight was my problem, and once the weight was gone, my problems were gonna deeply reduce, not be gone entirely. I wasn't being unrealistic about it, but I thought the social stuff would come, the confidence would just come, and that wasn't the case. And I took that really hard. And I'm not trying to feel sorry for myself or anything, but at the time I guess I was. And I started to binge eat heavily. I started drinking more. I was a big fan of craft beer, and if anyone who drinks craft beer out there knows that that can put on the calories fast, and put on the pounds very fast. And I started to really quickly put on weight. I was to where I could even eat in one sitting the same amount of food I could eat at 700 pounds. That never went away. And so I put back on quite a lot of weight. I would say at least 100 pounds. And, before I finally got a handle on myself and I finally was able to, take responsibility for that. And, when what comes with that naturally too is I started to withdraw from posting online. I started to withdraw from doing updates. I stopped logging my food. And with that, when you withdraw, that was my natural reaction because I knew I was messing up. I was humiliated. I felt like a complete fucking failure. Sorry for language, but I was really being hard on myself, and that just made it spiral more out of control. I withdraw, so suddenly I don't have people constantly on me about keeping up with it and everything, and so it really got out of hand quickly, and I put on a lot of weight. And so now, I'm in this new situation to where I can't just do what I did before. Before, I would wake up in the morning, I would ride my bike to the gym, I would spend 3 to 4 hours at the gym, I would, be logging all my calories, and, that's all I had to do. That was my entire life. Well, now things are a little bit different. Now, I don't really have a lot of time on my hands. My only free time really is the weekends. And so I can't really fall back on those huge calorie deficits anymore to lose the weight as rapidly as I was able to before. So I was kind of stuck in a way where, I had to rely more on my calories and keeping a low calorie count for me to have the same kind of weight loss because I couldn't exercise the way I was. And that's not something I was able to do, especially, the setting I'm in. I'm, at an office all day. I'm sitting down. I am, some days are stressful, and my natural reaction, like I mean, a lot of people, is to stress eat. And, so I'd start eating the things I had available, and, I wasn't doing the proper shopping and planning to make sure I had good things on hand. So, I was eating just garbage food and eating mindlessly. And so, I had to find some kind of balance. And finally, within the last couple months, I was able to, make a plan somewhat. I'm to where I'm eating, a normal amount of calories to where I don't get starving but, to a place where I'm not constantly eating garbage food. And so, I started to get a little bit back into that, and now I'm on a downward trend. I've been losing weight again. I've been, seeing positive results. I've been playing a lot more racquetball now, and so it is going down. But the problem is that I had really put on a lot of weight very quickly, and it's going to take a long time for me to be able to undo the damage I did. And then once I get back to where I was at 260, I still have 40 pounds to lose before I can start thinking about the surgery. So it doesn't seem like it's in the extreme near future, and all I can do is apologize for that. I know that it's not an excuse. I don't have any excuse for it, but I used to always be like, how do these people gain this weight back after I lose all this weight? You would see these stories like, there was some guy who lost almost 400 pounds. He had gotten this beautiful wife, his life looked great, and it took a couple years and he put all the weight back on. And I never understood how that was. And I've mentioned this in a couple other videos, and now I immediately and completely understand. And I apparently was 10 times more vulnerable to this than I realized. And it makes me think I'm always going to be vulnerable to this, and it makes me worry that I'm losing weight now, but what happens when I hit the next bout of depression or I get down on myself again? And how am I going to rein myself in faster? How am I going to make sure this doesn't happen again? It feels like I'm always going to be susceptible to this, and I don't really have an easy answer for that one. I don't know what I'm going to do when that happens. All I can do is try and learn from my mistakes. I have to identify my mistakes, identify the feelings that made me feel like eating was somehow going to help me or drinking was somehow going to help me, and figure out some kind of avenue that can give me similar relief for that kind of thing that doesn't put on 100 pounds. I don't have the answers. I wish I did. I've read advice. There's plenty of advice online. There's resources. I have some of the best supporters of all time. I mean, I have people who constantly have been in this place. They've lost weight too, and I talk to them about this, and they have the same kind of issues. They have the same confidence issues. The confidence did not come back with the weight loss, and so it doesn't seem like anyone has an answer to this. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I mean, I am open to all suggestions because, like I said, I don't really have the answer to this. And I know I've let a lot of people down by gaining this weight, and the timetable with surgery just not only didn't live up to what I expected and what I was promising, but it didn't live up to even close. It went the complete opposite way. And I don't, there's no way I can make up for that, but I'm at least giving this update so you know where I'm at and you know what's going on with me, and you know that I haven't given up and I'm not going to give up. That's one thing that having this kind of support makes it so that I can stay away for a while, but I eventually have to face it, and I have to look myself in the mirror, and I have to own up to my mistakes, and I'm going to end up being held responsible for them. So there's no sense in withdrawing, and so I've been trying to get back in the community more. Check me out on my fitness pal. My name's Wet Breasts on there. I'm going to be logging the food regularly. I'm going to start trying to post more pictures. I'm going to start Instagram where I post pictures of my meals. I used to do that in the bodybuilding.com thread, but that kind of slowed down and stopped completely for a while. And I think Instagram would be an easier way for me to be able to upload those meals without having to go to the forum, sign in, post, and all that stuff. But I'm going to keep engaging as much as possible, and just try and fix this. Anyways, guys, thanks for taking time to check out the update, and as always, I love all you guys. What do you be out?